Hello once again, everybody. Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on youtube.com/NoDQ&AV and of course NoDQ.com. WWE Over the Limit is this coming Sunday live on pay-per-view. Check out the coverage at NoDQ.com. For now, let's get right down to your questions. Could you ever see Matt Hardy returning to WWE, and what were the reasons for his departure in 2010? Let's start off with his departure. Matt Hardy's behavior in WWE started to become very bizarre around 2010. He ended up getting sent home from a European tour, and Matt Hardy started doing these YouTube videos, and he actually denied that he got sent home. And he posted a video of himself driving like 120 miles per hour on a freeway. And stuff like this, WWE just decided that enough was enough. And I mean, Matt Hardy kept posting videos asking for his release from WWE. And WWE decided to grant it to him. And then we saw what happened with Matt Hardy in TNA. He had that short run, and then they let him go, and he's been arrested. I think that if Matt Hardy has a good track record, he keeps a good track record for the next several months, maybe next year or two, I could see WWE bring him back on a part-time basis, not full-time again. I don't think WWE will want to put the whole marketing machine behind Matt Hardy because I think it would be just too much a risk for them. They would be putting all this effort and money into him, and then he might screw up again. So I don't see him being back as a full-time performer, but I definitely see a good possibility of him coming back as a special attraction, maybe reunite the Hardy Boys when Jeff is done with TNA. Possibly a Hall of Fame induction for the Hardy Boys. I could very well see something like that. Do you think, this is from Steve C619, do you think WWE should do the Brawl for All again with UFC rules? If they did, who should win? Highly, highly unlikely that we'll be seeing another type of Brawl for All. Basically what the Brawl for All was, it was designed to make Dr. Death Steve Williams a superstar. And they put these guys who were used to working in a scripted environment, and they put them in a situation where it was a shoot, where it was an actual fight, and it backfired on them. They thought that Dr. Death would blow through all the other guys, and he would win. He would come off looking like this major tough guy. But what happened was Bart Gunn, of all people, ended up knocking out Dr. Death, and that kind of ruined all of WWE's plans. So it just didn't work, and it's too dangerous. You put those guys in a situation where they can get seriously hurt. Just probably not going to happen. If Brock Lesnar was to compete at this year's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, who would be your favorite opponent for him? Well, the next logical feud after Triple H is Randy Orton. I don't really like the idea of Hell in a Cell being the first match of a feud. Hell in a Cell used to be a way to settle a feud. Now, you could do Triple H and Brock Lesnar whenever it takes place at No Way Out or SummerSlam, and then you could do the return match at Hell in a Cell to finish the feud. But I don't see Brock Lesnar having multiple matches with the same person. I just don't think that's going to happen. And like I said, Brock Lesnar at this point should win all of his matches. And wouldn't make sense for Brock to beat Triple H and then do another match and then just have Brock beat him again. So I don't really see Brock Lesnar versus Triple H as an option. And you could do Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton, but like I said, I'm not really a big fan of doing that as the first match of a feud in Hell in a Cell. And plus, I really think Lesnar should stick to the main pay-per-views at this point, like SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble. If it was me, I wouldn't even put him in Hell in a Cell in the first place. This is from Showman803. Hey Aaron, Buddy Rogers, Buddy Landel, and Ric Flair all had the Nature Boy name. Do you think a new Nature Boy would be accepted in this era? I think if you tried to do something like that right now, where you would have a new Nature Boy, I don't think it would work because all the current fans of this generation would compare this guy to Ric Flair. And there's just no way anybody could out-Nature Boy the Nature Boy Ric Flair. So right now, I don't think it would work. Perhaps another generation, maybe another 15, 20 years down the line, you could try to have someone act like Ric Flair, act like Buddy Rogers, and maybe it would work. But for now, I don't think so. Aaron, do you believe WWE would... This is from Truth MMA. Aaron, do you believe WWE will push Sheamus the same way they pushed Batista? And by that, I mean to push him as a strong face with a long 8-month title reign, 8 to 9 month title reign. I definitely see that as a possibility. I know WWE is really high on Sheamus, and they're trying to make him the next big baby face on SmackDown. But I would be surprised if he holds the title for that long. I think that in this day and age with WWE, they change plans constantly, and we don't really see long title reigns. I mean, CM Punk has been the one exception. I've actually been surprised that Punk has held the title for so long. And I don't know if it's going to happen with Sheamus. In a different era, like 2005 with Batista, if it was 2005, I could definitely see Sheamus getting a lengthy reign because WWE is really behind him. And I do see him being a top face for the foreseeable future, definitely. Whether that means he has the title or not, who knows. Got one more here from Truth MMA. What are your thoughts on the triple cage match held back in WCW? And why didn't WWE ever put that into place after the purchase of WCW? I liked the triple cage match. I think it was something different, but the problem is with WCW's booking, the match itself, like the one that sticks out the most to me is the match Slamboree with DDP and David Arquette and Jeff Jarrett. It on paper, a triple cage match sounds like a cool idea, but the whole storyline with David Arquette, it was just so much of a clusterfuck, and the match itself was a clusterfuck that it really didn't do a whole lot for me. And I think that they could have done so much more with that match, and it didn't really live up to its potential. And as to why WWE hasn't done it, the obvious reason is that it's not a WWE creation. Just like War Games, WWE never brought back the War Games match in with the cage or whatever. Just wasn't their creation, and I don't know. Who knows? I mean, perhaps one day somebody in a powerful position will go back and see that match and say, hey, why don't we do this? We haven't done it in WWE before, and enough time has passed where fans aren't going to remember it as being a WCW creation. So, I mean, there's always the possibility they could bring it back, and I wouldn't mind seeing it back. I think that WWE could make a really good use out of that triple cage. As Vince McMahon seems more concerned with competing against UFC than TNA, do you think he'll ever prohibit WWE guys who are UFC fans like Undertaker, Rock, or Punk from going to events, or will he encourage it as it gives WWE more coverage there? I think Vince McMahon, on one hand, doesn't really see UFC as competition. Therefore, he allows those guys to attend the events, and also the idea that, like you said, WWE gets the publicity out of the UFC events, and the WWE guys being at the UFC shows. So yeah, I think he'll continue to allow it because in Vince's mind, I don't think he really sees UFC as a serious competition. He sees them as a sport and WWE as sports entertainment. They're two different things. And whether you agree or disagree with that, I mean, that's Vince's mindset. And I don't think it hurts to have the WWE guys at a UFC show. I think it makes them seem like they're bigger deals. So I'm all for it. Hey, Aaron, in your eyes, which is better, SmackDown or Impact? If you asked me this question a year or two ago, I'd say SmackDown, no doubt about it. But I have to say, I know this comes off as a surprise to some people, but I've actually thought that Impact Wrestling has been decent as of late. I think that it's definitely improved in the last couple of months, and I give them the credit for trying different things with the gut check and the open fight night, and they've been pushing Bobby Roode, and I like what they're doing with Daniels and Kazarian and AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, and I don't really have all that much of a problem with Impact Wrestling right now. I think that they're trying to build the brand up again, and I still think they need to make a lot of changes. I still think that Hogan and Bischoff need to be gone, but overall, the shows, just watching Impact Wrestling on TV, I really don't have any issues with it. And as far as SmackDown goes, I mean, WWE hasn't really put much effort into SmackDown as of late. And it really feels like a B show more than ever, or even a C show at this point, even though there is no B or C show. I mean, SmackDown's just the second show. But yeah, I would really like to see WWE do more with SmackDown and put more emphasis on it. But right now, I mean, I might actually say I like Impact more than SmackDown at this point, which I'm sure people never thought they would hear out of me. All right, that'll wrap things up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCW. Tell a friend on Facebook or Twitter. Spread the word about the videos, and we'll see you next time.